Our mind is an ocean of universal energy called by scientists as cosmic energy. This universal energy, according to science, can never be created nor destroyed. That means the universal energy is eternal. It has no birth, no decay, and no death. But we experience in our mind the activity of the universal energy as thought waves. Every thought is a wave created by the universal energy. The main nature of a wave is it rises up, stops rising, and then comes down, rising and falling like waves in the ocean. Our thought waves are also rising and then coming down, falling. When a wave falls down, with the energy of the falling down, by the energy of the weight of the falling down, the next wave is created. That is how waves are created one after the other. Therefore, thinking means creation of a series of thought waves, one following the other. Thought waves are created by the mind as a reaction to sensory signals. The mind responds to the sense signals, and that response is called awareness. The mind becoming aware of it. Reaction is the mind liking or disliking such signals. Signal means information regarding external objects given to the mind by the sense organs called eye, ear, nose, etc. In Buddhist meditation, one disciplines the mind to be aware of sensory signals without thinking of them. That means without reaction. There is only the natural response. The mind becoming aware of sensory signal is a natural response. Thinking of it is a deliberate effort made by the mind through liking or disliking it. Both liking and disliking of sensory signals is caused by the ignorance of the reality or the truth of those signals, which are illusions. Through signals, a mental image is created in the mind automatically, and that looks real. Through ignorance, we think that mental image is a reality, but actually it is an illusion created in the screen of the mind. It is because of this ignorance one likes or dislikes such mental images. In fact, we can never know the sensory objects outside us. Nothing outside us can be known correctly, exactly by our sense organs. Therefore, the information supplied by the sense organs regarding external objects are inadequate, distorted, are misrepresentations. But, as I mentioned earlier, they look real to us, we experience them as real, and we think of them. Thinking is generated, as I mentioned earlier, by our likes, dislikes, and ignorance of the reality of what the mind experiences. In Buddha's language, they are called raga, dosa, and moha. Raga is liking, leading to attachment. Dosa is disliking, leading to resentment. Moha is ignorance, leading to misunderstanding, of not knowing the reality of things. Therefore, the birth of thoughts are generated by our likes, dislikes, and ignorance. Liking and disliking are reactions of the mind. Reaction to what the mind becomes aware of through signals sent by sensory organs. Thinking is a creation of a series of such mental reactions to mental responses. Enlightenment means the cessation of thinking. Cessation of thinking means cessation of thought waves. When there are no thought waves in the mind becomes tranquil, calm, quiet, non-vibrating, no vibrations. That is why the 11th stanza in the Mahamangala Sutta says, the mind of an Arahant is motionless, free from vibration. Uttasya loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati. Tranquil. And that is called the mind free from motion. Thinking is a motion, moving. Moving of the mind from the past through the present into the future. When we think of something, we think in terms of our past experiences, saved in our brain as memories. And we think of present experiences, projecting our anticipations regarding them our desires regarding them into the unborn future. Therefore, in the process of thinking, the mind is living in the dead past and the unborn future, ignoring the living present. Even the living present is instant. The present moment is a spark to disappear then and there. Therefore, not only the dead past and the unborn future, even the present moment is an illusion, appearing as real but disappearing then and there. Once this truth or reality is realized through one's own wisdom, thinking ceases. Enlightenment means the cessation of thinking. It means the clarity of the mind. The mind becomes clear of all mental waves, a tranquil mind, but a mind full of energy. Because that mind is not working, not active. When the mind is active in thinking or feeling or doubting or hating or desiring, lot of energy of the mind, that energy is called mental energy, is wasted. When the mental energy is not wasted by thinking, that energy gets preserved. That means enlightenment means realizing perfectly energetic mind. A mind full of energy but empty of all images. In fact, clearing the mind means clearing from the mental images, which are illusions. Then there crops up the real mind, the cosmic mind, the universal mind behind the mental images. And that mind is empty but full of energy. Empty of images, empty of forms. It is a formless mind but full of energy. That energy is called spiritual energy, not the material energy. Material energy is always dynamic, vibrating, creating waves, always getting disturbed. Enlightened mind is an undisturbed mind. As I mentioned earlier, the 11th stanza of Mahamangala Sutra says, Puttasya loka dhamme chittang yacana kampati. Non-vibrating, perfectly tranquil, non-thinking, not reacting, not responding mind. That mind called nirvana, an eternal mind that was never born, never created, that can never be destroyed, is that nirvana. And once we reach that stage of our mind, the thinking, as I mentioned earlier, ceases. That is what Buddha, in his first paean of joy, uttered Visankara gatan chitta. Thought formations, mental formations, creating mental images ceased at the enlightenment. And the bliss of that cannot be experienced by the mind, because at that level there is no separation between the experiencer and the experienced. Between the mind and the tranquility of the mind, they all become one. The experiencer becomes the experienced. Therefore, in the Ajata Sutta, Nirvana is called unthinkable. The word used by the Buddha is atakkavacharam. Cannot be known by the mind. But there are a number of other sutras that say the effect of that realization can be experienced by the body, can be touched by the body, because the body is not thinking. Mind is a thinking mind, machine. Therefore, the real nirvana cannot be grasped by the mind, though it can grasp an image, an idea of nirvana. But the idea or image is not the nirvana. The real nirvana, according to Buddha, can be experienced by the body, the non-thinking body. Because that body is in touch with the universal mind. Now scientists have found out that there are trillions and trillions of cells in a human body. Between 50 to 100 trillions of cells, and every cell is a mind. Every cell has a consciousness, the universal consciousness. Therefore, enlightenment means cessation of the individual consciousness called I, myself, or my mind, which we identify as ourselves, and going beyond that illusion to realize the universal or the cosmic consciousness, referred to in the Buddha language called Sabbanyuta, in Sanskrit Sarvajñata, which is limitless, boundless, endless. At that level, thinking ceases. To reach that level, the causes of thinking had to be eradicated. Extinction of causes of eradication is called enlightenment. As I mentioned earlier, they are called raga, dosa, moha in the Buddha's language, meaning our liking, disliking, and ignorance that lead to our thinking. Liking, disliking, and ignorance generate thinking, and with the extinction of liking, disliking, and ignorance, thinking ceases. That is the death of thinking, death of thoughts. In fact, every thought is a wave born to decay and die. Decay means the energy that creates the wave get degenerated, decaying gradually. then the wave comes down. That is how waves are formed. Once one is enlightened, no thought waves are formed in the mind. But that is the perfect tranquility. Non-vibrating, non-thinking, tranquility. And that is achieved or realized by the cessation of thinking that disturbs our mind constantly. Non-thinking mind is a mind that is not disturbed by sensory signals.